Good morning. Welcome to the market forecast. It's Friday, October the 9th. Yes, finally Friday. My name's John Hoagland, Senior Performance Coach here at Top Step. Thanks for trusting me with your time. If you're already in the markets, hopefully you've got things heading the right way. We're going to take a look at 6 of our major markets here in a few minutes through the lens of context. Always thinking about risk management. On the news of traders and probably everybody everywhere right this morning, we are sending prayers and thoughts to all of those that are heading that are in the line of, I guess, Hurricane Delta so soon after Hurricane Laura. We know that this is going to be a tough weekend for them, so I'm sure we all send our thoughts and prayers to all of those that are going to be affected by that in Louisiana and Texas, it looks like. But as far as what traders are thinking about, no major numbers out this morning, so we don't have to worry about that. U.S. stocks continue to push higher on stimulus hopes. Apparently, Mnuchin and Pelosi spoke a little bit yesterday, but there's no known progress in that. President is, I guess, planning weekend rallies as he recovers from coronavirus. Crude prices, I'm sure we're all aware, have spiked higher this week with the hurricane in the Gulf, kind of shutting down production, of course. But they're off a little bit this morning. I guess there's a report from OPEC coming out, or that came out, that says that Russia and certain African OPEC members have been overproducing. So we're getting a little bit of downside pressure just opening up here. We're going to see what that looks like here very shortly. Make sure you do like, share, comment, question, feedback. Heckling is always welcome. And subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can be notified when we do go live. VIX down 2.5% this morning to 25.72 after its brief look at 30 earlier this week. Dollar index down again today, slightly down at 93.29. Like to say good morning to everyone. Good morning, Felix. First one in the room. You got to get up pretty early. You win the prize. Charles March, MSS Capital. Good morning. Happy Friday. Missed that the markets are closed on the weekend, but it does give us time to recharge our batteries. It's kind of a mixed emotions is what I'm trying to think of. It's kind of mixed emotions when the weekends come and we are forced to look away from the markets for a little while and recharge our batteries, rest up, be ready for the coming week, because we are pretty sure, and I'm sure all of you are probably going to agree, probably this whole quarter is going to be a very interesting quarter in trading, politics, and in the world. So we've got our work cut out for us. Good morning, everyone. Again, Nicholas, Doyle, Subconscious, Rob, Tanya, good morning. Jimmy, Dolby time. What's up? Mike, Prima. Good to see everybody this morning. Let's go ahead and jump into the charts. As always, I like to start with the daily and crude, going from left to right. All right, so the crude is coming into rollover. It's scheduled for next Thursday. I'm thinking probably on Friday. The volume will roll over into what are we in now? We're in November. We'll be in December crude. No, it's October. We're going into the next month. Next week. Taking a look at what happened yesterday, that big move to the upside, it evaporated 40,000 contracts in open interest. Now, this could be a function of rollover, or it could have been we've finally squeezed out the final shorts from this push to the upside the better part of this week. The hurricane is in the market now. We can probably assume that the pricing is already in the market. So the swing high here from what day was this? The 18th of September, 41.72, I believe, is that swing high. Would be an interesting opportunity for an execution. Should be somehow somewhat resistant. We didn't quite get to it last night. Taking a look at the 30-minute chart here now. We've opened in range and in value. It appears as though we've left our opening range at the low of the session. So As long as that remains the low of the session, I'm probably going to be looking for longs. I'm going to be looking for possible opportunities for shorts at yesterday's high, at our overnight high, and possibly at that swing high of 41.72. If you're already in this trade, you're good, but when we do open in range and in value from the previous session, it usually tells me that there's probably going to be a better trade location as the day goes on. So, um, if you feel like you've missed it, there's probably going to be another good trade location or good trade opportunity as the day goes on. Take a look now here at the E-mini S&Ps. Okay, um, we are maintaining kind of a medium time frame upside structure. Low volume yesterday and very little change in open interest. So even on this move to the upside yesterday, and we kind of felt as though I felt as though we saw some longer time frame participation yesterday. The delta was negative on higher pricing. That usually tells me that we may get an accumulation of open interest, but we didn't get that last night. So this rally from yesterday feels a little bit hollow to me, and that doesn't mean that the high is in at all. These markets, our equity markets, are so resilient without bad news. They just tend to kind of grind to the upside. We don't have any real economic information due out today, so we're probably more at risk of headline risk than anything known coming out. We don't know what's going to happen with stimulus. At any time, something can come out about that and change the markets drastically. So, taking a look at the 30-minute chart, we're going to be opening in about 24 minutes. We have settlement down here, which is 34.3750. Settlement, put that on your charts. We've got overnight buyers just kind of holding pat above yesterday's kind of narrow range. It was a pretty slow grind to the upside yesterday. We continued that last night. We're just kind of holding pat to where we are. We've got a very narrow range. We are probably, with high probability, going to be opening with a gap, which gives us an opportunity. Again, gap rules: if we can't close that gap relatively early, we trade in the direction of the gap. And I'll be watching the opening range as well. If the opening range remains at the high or the low of the session, that can also provide a decent early opportunity for us. So we're going to be opening out of balance, out of range, out of value. It might provide a bigger opportunity for us. We don't know. But with this narrow little range up here in the overnight, I think, my main focus, I think, will be probably at the high of the overnight and the low of the overnight. And, with the gap rules, I understand it's kind of subjective as to if we can't close the gap relatively early. Yeah, it's a subjective term, but you'll find if we can't close the gap that we may attract buyers that we suspected were in the market yesterday. Suspected. We never really know. And the fact that we did not increase open interest by that much kind of makes yesterday's push to the upside feel a little bit hollow. But again, you got to trade what we see. Our structure is good to the upside. We're opening with a gap. We can't close the gap. We're going to look for opportunities to trade in the direction of the gap, which would have us looking for longs. Anything can change, and usually does. NASDAQ. Still wrestling with our weekly kickoff high this week. Traded to it, closed pretty close to it yesterday. Low volume yesterday. Almost no change in open interest in the preliminary bulletin on the CME. So again, we're near an extreme here. We would probably be expecting to see an increase or a decrease in the open interest, but no change yesterday. That again, while the Nasdaq feels a little bit more range bound, we're at risk of changing that to more of an upside state here today if we can push this market higher. So here's that weekly kickoff high. We traded to it. We closed near it. We've been holding above it all night long. We are holding possibly some overnight short time frame longs in this market if they don't get what they're looking for, and that's continuation to the upside. We may have an opportunity to see this market maybe come back and close the gap. Um, as far as the severity of the overnight longs, I'm not thinking that there is a large or a huge inventory from overnight that needs to be adjusted. So again, I'll be watching the opening range. If the opening range remains at one extreme, I'll trade to that direction. Again, if we can't close the gap relatively early, we're going to be looking for this market to continue to ride, as it tends to do when there's nothing else to do. Gold giving us another opportunity at our weekly kickoff high this morning. Um, Volume continues slow in this balance area. If we do get a breakout to the upside, I'll look for an increase in volume today. We lost 2,700 in open interest yesterday, just really a kind of lack of interest, it seems like, yesterday. But I think that interest is kind of coming back into this market. If we see a big jump in open interest on a breakout to the upside here, that I think is going to give us an indication of possibly what next week might look like. Yesterday, when we were looking at this 30-minute chart, we opened between 2 points of control, 2 points of control. So we tend to check both points of control before picking a new direction, which we did not accomplish yesterday. We did trade to this point of control. Last night, we traded to this point of control. We are currently wrestling with weekly kickoff high, and our opening range is the low of the regular trading hour session. The low of the opening range is 1918.90. I've put it on my chart here in this little blue line. We have been seeing all week long. I was asking, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, how many times do we have to test this level before we exhaust sellers? We had 1, a 2, a 3. Maybe it's the 4th time up here. Maybe we're going to see some continuation up there. Now to our currencies. Euro. We are in, I'm calling this kind of an upside digestive state. We're seeing some continuation to the upside now above our weekly kickoff high, which was largely resistant all week long. We're above it now. We may be bringing new business into the marketplace. Of course, we'll be looking for that in open interest on Monday, but we lost 3,600 in open interest yesterday up against that level. When we get in near one of these important levels and volume starts to shut off, you know that there's a change coming, and it looks like that change for the euro is to the upside, seeing that the dollar has been coming off rather steadily all week long. So I was kind of looking at the overnight high as something that was interesting. Our opening range was not the extreme here, but we basically have a whole lot of longs in overnight activity, short time frame, weaker hands longs in this market. It's new business that is coming in the U.S. Session here that is perpetuating price for all those overnight longs. Usually one of two things is going to happen. We're going to have new business come and perpetuate it in the direction of the overnight longs or shorts, as the case may be, or we're going to just sit here for a little while, and then our longs are going to get nervous, and we're going to get an opportunity to see price move lower. So far, this market is continuing to bring in buyers above weekly kickoff high. It has been tested. It has become magnetic. Maybe today is the day that it will become repellent to price, and we'll get a nice move out of the euro. Gap rules, of course, we've got a pretty substantial gap. Lower probability of it getting filled, but we do have all of these overnight longs in this market. If buyers cease to keep entering the market up here at some point, we'll get a nice pullback, which might just be an opportunity to buy the euro on weakness. And the Japanese yen. Finally, a little bit of something here going on in the Japanese yen after about 2 days of a very narrow regular trading hour session range, just dragging along the weekly kickoff low, testing it a couple of times on Wednesday and Thursday. We're seeing the market open, not necessarily with a gap, but we do have our opening range at the low of the regular trading hour session. Yesterday was so indecisive, no open interest change, low volume. Something is bound to change when that happens, and it looks like it might be to the upside. So again, there was no gap. We opened and really just one tick off the gap. The opening range is still the low of the regular trading hour session. That's kind of what I'm looking at. 94.46 is that number, the low of the opening range. So here's what we've done for the last couple of regular trading hour sessions. The market has just been kind of dragging along, weekly kickoff low. We've had a couple of stabs at it. We haven't been able to bring in any sellers down there. As a matter of fact, it's looking more like we ran into buyers down there. Our buyers have held pat here. We are now holding kind of above value from those 2 trading days, which, in some circles you would say that this is demand. This is a demand zone. We've seen the market hold here. We've seen the market break out and now hold above value. So, this is going to probably be supportive as we would have expected, as we are right near weekly kickoff low. So, this 2-day consolidation here I'm looking at as a supportive area. It is a big zone. The fact that we've left the opening range to the low of the session is a good sign for bulls right now. If it falls, we may have an opportunity to get deeper into this demand zone for better trade locations. Boy, what a week. What a week. We had a really good group coaching session. We had the market therapy with Dr. Menaker. We've got another one coming up in a couple of weeks. As we get closer, I'll put the URL so you can sign up for that. We'll have a new topic, and we'll try and get as many of your questions as we can inside an hour. I have sent some of the nice comments and thank yous that you all sent to the good doctor, and we're going to be looking forward to talking to him again in a couple of weeks. So, what else do I have here? Got a couple of things here. Finally, had 3 winning days in a row. Step 2, nice job. Fallen. Finally had 3 winning days in a row in step 2, Nicholas. Finally. We got some weeks going here, it sounds like. I love to hear that. Good morning, Sarah. Subconscious is at 3 losing days in a row. Oh, man. That's just in step 2 and 9th day, step 2 with, well, looks like you're sitting pretty good as far as that balance is concerned, subconscious. Looks like you're going to be getting funded soon. Nice job. Trader Joe, good morning. Can someone tell me keystroke to make sure I have no trades on the chart on Tradeovate? Usually what I do, I don't think that there's one button that you're going to be able to click to make sure you're not working any orders. I go dome to dome, and I just hit pull all orders, cancel, liquidate everything. Just make sure that you click each dome, cancel all orders, cancel all orders, cancel all orders. Sometimes I'll click it 2 or 3 times just to make sure. But that's what I do. I've got 5 or 6 domes open on my trading computer most of the time, and I'm just always getting in the habit of just pull all orders. It's just something you have to do. Good morning, Sam. Yeah, the losing days, we can trade the micro E-mini. Yep. Tanya, thanks. Trading. Oh, good to see you. Thank you, Tanya. Happy trading. May all be in the zone. Absolutely. Jory. Morning, Hoag. I enjoyed listening to your interview with Credelli on the Futures podcast the other day. Wow, that was a while ago. Jory. I didn't even know it was still out there. Prima is a couple hundred away from finishing step one. Prima, stay in your process. If you put that goal in front of you, it may take you out of your process. Do what you've been doing. Take your time. You will get there. Thank you, Nicholas. Yep. There you go. Okay. We got about 9 minutes before the equity open. I'm going to take my deep breath and be ready for when the equities open up. See if we see some opportunities. If you have a good morning, nothing wrong with calling it a week. I know we all love what we do and we love trading, but Fridays, if you've had a good week, make sure you protect that profit. You make a little bit of money on Friday morning. Nothing wrong with starting the weekend a little bit early. I won't be doing that, but maybe you can. Let's take our deep breath. Stay humble, grateful, creative, and confident today. Those of you that have been watching the market forecast for a while might remember the Friday dance. So I'm going to do the Friday dance to get us out of here. Get out there and profit. Trade well. And it's Friday. Have a great weekend, everyone. Blessings to all.